All right, everyone. Hi, third grade families who are joining us on this webinar about our third grade return to campus. Let me get my slides ready and make sure I move away my video panel here behind the scenes so you could see me properly. And let's get started. Third grade families, we are so excited to welcome you back to school next Monday. And we are ready for you. We've had our special education students. We've had our TK through second graders on campus with us for the past 3 weeks. Our special ed kids have been here with us for the past 7 weeks, and it's been so exciting. Everything's been going very well. I'm just here today to share with you some information about drop-off and pickup and classroom procedures. And I hope that I'm able to answer your questions through some of the things that I'll explain today. So our agenda for today is to talk about preparation that we've done at school to welcome our third graders back and talk about drop off and pickup, and also student supports that are in place in our school district to make sure that everything runs smoothly. The picture you're seeing here is our car line. You'll notice that there are arrows as well as dots that are painted all around our school to ensure that our students know their pathways, as well as are standing and waiting 6 feet apart when they're being picked up or dropped off. We also have these dots all over our school. This is our courtyard area. Some of our students stand on the dots in the morning as they wait for class to begin, or they stand on the dots at the end of the school day to wait for you to pick them up. So we have all of our distancing dots on our campus ready for our students. Now, AM and PM schedules were released back on November 20th. It's information that's located in Aries. If you look for my communication from November 20th, you'll find out where to see this information. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Know that the selection process involved asking if you have a PM preference, and we tried our best to give all of you who wanted PM the PM schedule. And then the rest of you were put into a random lottery, and that's how whether AM or PM cohorts were decided. We are unable to change these cohorts to keep it fair for all of the families. So hopefully that things work out for everyone. Special announcement here, we are doing a special Friday walkthrough from 3:30 to 5 o'clock, meaning that if you want to bring your third grader to campus this Friday, between the hours of 3:30 to 5 p.m., you're welcome to do so. You can come, park your cars, or walk to school, and starting at 3:30. And in the courtyard area where the dolphin shade structure is, you see a picture of it here, we will have somebody take your temperatures, and then you could look around the school. If your child is not familiar with where the classrooms are, you can walk them to the classroom so that they feel ready and comfortable when they're back next Monday. So to go over the drop-off procedure and pick-up procedure with you today, let me just talk about how we're dividing our car line space. It's been going very well with our TK through second grade families. Our TK and kinder students are dropped off at the beginning of the car line. They pull their cars all the way up to the sign on the left here that says K, and that's where those cars stop. And if you're in first through third grade, you're going to drive past that sign and go all the way down to the bottom part of our parking lot and car line. And you're going to stop your cars there, and that is where you will drop off and pick up your students. So we want to separate the areas a little bit, so please help us with that. Please be safe when we're driving in our parking lot. It's really tight spaces that are in there. It's been going well so far, so as long as everybody's following our instructions and directions, we'll be fine. For siblings or family with siblings who have both a TK and K student and a first, second, or third grade student, we suggest that you arrive kind of in between the drop-off times for the two groups of students. So for example, if you have siblings in both groups, 7:55 is a good time for the morning group, and 12:05 is a good time for the PM group. And really, really important, if you don't know about this already, there is a health screening form that is required for all students who are on campus every single day. So yes, you have to do this every single day, but it's very easy. You could log into parentsquare.com and you'll see a big button for you to click on where you complete a health screening questionnaire. It does allow you to select all of your children, so you don't have to do them one at a time if you have multiple children on campus. and it'll ask you a few questions and it'll direct you to whether you should come to school or not come to school that day, depending on if you have certain symptoms or depending on if you've traveled or not. So please, please, please complete this health screening form every single day that your child comes to campus. We must see your response. So you have to screenshot your response for us or show it to us on your phone. It's really convenient if you download the Parent Square app. And so that is what is highly suggested. But if we don't see the questionnaire done, we will have to send you away for it to be done before we let your students get off their cars and come to school. So with that said, here are some shared community expectations for bringing students back to school so that we could keep everyone safe. We really need to approach this as a whole community working together because there's so many little lives and adult lives that are involved. So we need everybody's cooperation. If you can, try to take your child's temperature before you come to school, just so you know how they're reading. But we also take their temperatures when they get to school before we allow them to go into the classroom. So 2 really important things every morning to know about when you come to school, whether you walk or you drive in through the car line, is that we will have somebody at the car line or at the areas where we accept students who walk to school, taking your child's temperature and looking for your health screening survey response before we allow your students to go to class. Now, obviously, if your child is not feeling well, have any sort of symptoms of illness at all, please keep them at home and don't send them to school. It's really not safe right now to bring children to school if they're sneezing and coughing. Even if you don't think it's COVID related, if they're ill, don't bring them to school. Please, please keep all of our students here and our staff here safe. If there's ever a situation where your child gets sick at school, we will need to call you and have you immediately pick them up. So please make sure you're ready and available for that. And so again, if your child's not feeling well in the morning, just please keep them at home. This is repeated probably 10 times throughout this presentation. Really important for you to take a screenshot of your daily health screening. It really expedites our car line process so that we don't have to wait for you to do it and send you away to park and do it and return through the car line traffic. So please help us with this. I know it seems silly, but we need you to complete this before you come to school so that it's ready for us. We don't have time for you to sit in your car and complete your survey while we have a long line of cars waiting to drive into our very, very small parking lot. And you all know the community. You all know that there's this one-way street and traffic can get really backed up, especially with 3rd grade returning. So please be responsible every morning and make sure that you complete this, screenshot it, and have it ready to show us on your phone when you come to school. And this is what a screenshot of the response looks like. It's either this screen or there's another screen that shows an even bigger check mark. So download the Parent Square app if you're able to do so on your phone. Check it out. You could even try doing the screening and seeing the response and making sure that you find this page so that you can show it to us when you come to school. Now, I explained earlier that 3rd grade students are going to be dropped off at the end of the parking lot. Something that I do want to clarify is Miss Larkin's classroom is in a different location than Miss Gold's and Miss Savage's classroom. So the students in the classes will be going through a different path to get to their classroom. So if you are one of Mrs. Larkin's students listening, when you get dropped off, you're going to go walk all the way back up through the courtyard to get to her classroom. All right. So once again, if you're Mrs. Larkin students, you're going to get dropped off at the end of the parking lot. You're going to have a little bit of a walk. That's okay. Good exercise in the morning. You're going to walk through the courtyard and you're going to get to her classroom that way. If you're in Mrs. Gold and Mrs. Savage's class, you're going to get dropped off at the end of the parking lot. Your entrance point and gate is a little bit closer. It is in that picture there. It is the gate that leads you to our lunch shelter. You're going to walk through that gate and you go all the way straight, and that is how you will reach Mrs. Gold and Mrs. Savage's classroom. So those are the pathways for our 3rd grade students. And again, you can practice this if you want on Friday between the hours of 3:30 to 5 o'clock. And here's an aerial view of everything that I've talked about. You could see how limited the spaces are in our parking lot. So please be mindful of that. And the area that is highlighted in yellow are the areas where first through third grade students can be dropped off. And note again, the lunch gate area for Mrs. Gold and Mrs. Savage's students, that's your path to enter school and exit school. And note the courtyard area for Mrs. Larkin's students, that's the path you take to enter school and exit school. There are also some arrows that show you where you should go if you're walking. If you're a third grade student who's walking to school, you're gonna go all the way down and walk all the way down to the end of the parking lot, cross the crosswalk that's at the end of the parking lot, and there will be somebody ready to receive you there or send you off to go home there at the end of each day. So this is what it looks like for third grade students. Look at the picture on the right-hand side. That's the crosswalk at the end of the parking lot that you have to walk across to be able to walk to school and to be able to leave school if you're walking. Now, of course, we expect your parents to be walking with you so they can show us your health screening response. And so we can take your temperature while your parents are still with us in case there's something that pops up. So they're ready to help you with that. And so when you get to school, make sure that you have your masks on at all time. Obviously, the exceptions are if you're drinking or eating a snack or if you need to blow your nose. Your teachers will be teaching you all of these routines when you get to school. Your mask must cover your nose and your mouth, so you can't leave your nose hanging out. You have to hide your nose, is what we tell our students. And please, parents, if you have a mask that has a vent, that is not allowed. So make sure you get a mask that does not have a vent for your students. And neck gaiters are not allowed either. So make sure you have a proper mask. Make sure that it's properly fitted. Sometimes our children come to school with masks that are a little too big and they keep falling off during the day. So test it out this week. Make sure you have something ready for them so that they are ready to go when they come to school. Parents, we love you, but you're not allowed on campus. So please do not come to campus. During pickup and drop off, you have to remain in your car. Your children and babies are taken care of. We have many adults at our car line that are helping them. So no worries there. Please stay in your car during arrival and during pickup. We will take care of all of our kids. If you do have to come to school for a reason, please call our office and make an appointment so that we could be ready to serve you. And note that our office is going to be closed during the arrival and pickup times because we need a lot of adults supporting that process. So we have more of our office staff who are outside helping with arrival and pickups. And so don't be mad at us if we don't answer the phone for a 15-minute period of time because we're outside helping students arrive and be picked up. Note that it's typically during the time when they come to school and when they are dismissed. And then when the second group comes to school and when the second group is dismissed, that's when our office staff will be outside helping as well. So I've mentioned this so many times already. During the first few days of school, your teachers will be there to meet you, but after you learn the routine of how to get to your classroom, then you're going to be on your own. You'll be totally fine. You're third graders. Many of you know the school already, and even our kinders and first and second graders learn this routine very quickly. I've been so impressed by them. Here's a picture of our bell schedule. I have shown this bell schedule to parents already in my email communications in the past week. So if you're an AM student, you can arrive to school at 8 o'clock and class will start at 8:15. If you're a PM student, you arrive to school at 12:10. And if you're an AM student, you should be picked up at 10:40. If you're a PM student, you should be picked up at 2:50. Please stay within the designated timeframes for drop-off and pickups because those are the only times we'll have adult supervision for your students. And here's a look into what our classrooms look like. We have plexiglass set up for our teacher stations. All of our student desks are 6 feet apart. Your teachers have been working hard this week to organize their classroom to make sure that you are welcomed back to school next week. And they will teach you classroom procedures. We have our hand sanitizers ready for you. Every time you go in and out of the classroom, we want you to sanitize your hands if you're coming back from whatever you've done. And there's also a hand washing station for you to wash your hands. Washing our hands and keeping our hands clean is probably one of the most important thing to do during these really challenging times, in addition to keeping your distance from each other. So please be mindful of that as well. I know we like being close to our friends, but please learn to stay apart so that we can all stay safe. Our outside areas are zoned and have dots on them, like I showed already. Our picnic tables for you to eat your snack at during your movement break have 2 dots on them so that you are seating 6 feet apart to have your snack. And our playground area has been zoned. You can see the big blue line. And so we have designated play zones for our students during your movement breaks, and your teacher will tell you which zone you're in. You have to make sure you stay in your zone so we're not mixing our cohorts when you're playing during recess. And so keep that in mind. Your teachers will be teaching you these routines. Here are just some lovely photos of our students who have been back at school. Notice that everybody's wearing their mask. Notice our classrooms are socially distant. Even when you're outside, you're seated 6 feet apart. And all of our students have been very attentive as far as listening to our teachers and following directions. It has been such a great time seeing our students on campus, and I'm so excited to have our 3rd graders back with us. Now, I've already explained our classroom procedures. Again, 2 most important things is making sure you're socially distant and always washing and sanitizing your hands. So anytime you leave the classroom for whatever reason, if you have to go to the restroom, when you come back to your classroom, your teacher will instruct you to wash and sanitize your hands. As far as student materials are concerned, there's going to be no shared items during the school day. So expect some communication from your teachers regarding what supplies you should be bringing to school each day. They will make sure they let you know. And please make sure that you're only sending the essential supplies that your teachers are asking for to school every day. And bring a water bottle, because we do have our hydration stations for students to fill up their water bottles. Unfortunately, our teachers can't really be helping our students with a lot of their tasks because they have to keep their distance. And so make sure that if you're bringing a snack for your child or if you're bringing a water bottle, these are all things that your students can operate on their own, and we will be all fine. Now, students must be picked up on schedule, because once again, we are going to not have adult supervision if you don't come at the right time. And remember, I showed the times earlier. You could go back and look at the video if you want to, or look at my email communication to look at the exact times again. But once again, when students are being picked up, please make sure you're pulling all the way to the end of the lot for the 3rd grade pickup. During the pickup time, we have students walk out with their teachers, and their teachers will assign a dot for your child to stand at during pickup. So the 3rd grade classes dots are all the way at the end of the parking lot. So it's best that you go all the way to the end anyways to pick them up, and they will learn that routine very quickly. Now, what's really, really helpful is if you print out the first name, last initial, the grade level, and the teacher of your child when you come pick them up, because we have a lot of adults who are helping. And if we're able to see the sign on your dashboard, or if you show it to us through your passenger window, we'll be able to call for your student quickly, and so that we could get them in your cars and out of here at the end of the day. And please know that between our AM and PM cohorts, we have our cleaning crew out. Our custodians and plant managers are working really hard. They're spraying and sanitizing all of the classrooms and all of our play equipment so that the next cohort arrives, everything is cleaned and safe. All of our products are safe for everyone, and the cleaning schedule is has been working extremely well. And so know that we're cleaning our classrooms and our play equipment and all of the high-touch surface areas during the 90-minute transition that we have between when the morning students come and when the PM students come. I mentioned this earlier today. If you want to know the exact times, these are the times that our office will be closed. So if you're calling during these times and no one's answering the phone, that might be why. Try us again later. We have all hands on deck outside during arrival and dismissal time for both cohorts so that we can make that process smooth. And so give us some patience if you're trying to reach our office and you don't hear back from anyone. And try back again. So some final notice here. We can't have any visitors on our campus, so please keep that in mind. Again, if you need to come to campus for any reason, please call in advance to schedule an appointment so that we can serve you properly. And we have counselors who are available for our students. Our counselors are available for our families and adults as well. If you need our counseling services for any reason, please reach out to Mrs. Paul, or you can reach out to our Community 360 Center. Our Community 360 Center actually offers a lot of services to our students in our district. We are so fortunate that Calabasas High School and Agora High School students have been putting together virtual activities for our younger students. So if you haven't tried any of them, I highly suggest you to do so. It's awesome and amazing. And my final note is just that we are thrilled to have our third graders join us. I've been waiting for more and more students to come back, and we're very lucky that we're able to bring them back because we have all of our safe protocols in place. So with that said, I will see you all on Monday. Go Dolphins! And I will send out this video in case I talked way too fast, because sometimes I do that. But I hope you all have a good rest of your night, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.